we are live, even though we have our website up, goodnight.gg.
Yeah.
By the way,
What?
Let me make sure we're live on Twitch.
I wonder who has gngg.com, by the way.
oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. Let's see.
Silencing my phone.
Looks like you're live. It's also weird having to hear it through the earphones. You just hate me so much.
Wait, does your phone give you audio cues?
No.
Hector.
Oh, well, it'll ding if I get a notification.
Yeah.
Oh, so it does give you audio cues.
Yes.
Okay.
If that's what if that's how we're translating notifications,
Just-
yes.
Hey,
It makes a
Well,
noise.
compared to vibrate, like.
Oh God, I hate vibrate.
What?
Vibrate is my. Okay, so first of all, you can still fucking hear it, so there's no point.
Right.
And second of all, if you're near me or it's on a table, I can feel it, and that's worse.
But I'm just saying, society has decided it's not the faux pas that the ding is.
That's fair.
If
but
everybody
see,
hears the vibrate, we're still.
I'm always polite enough to silence
Okay.
my phone, so I don't want the lesser faux pas. I want no faux pas. There's a
Wait,
faux
you don't
pas
even
free
get-
zone.
Wait, during the show, you're not even getting the vibrate?
No, I get nothing. I am. I try to spend as much time as possible with zero notifications because I don't like it when the phone tells me when I need to pay attention to it.
Right.
It makes me less human.
I mean,
Like I need to just live my life and then look at my phone when I want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Okay.
Well, I get this
Okay.
sneeze out. That'll be good.
Well, James is gonna see this. We're gonna.
Remember, now that you've
let's
said
catch
it,
it on camera.
But-
now that
Bananas.
you've said it, it's just
Oh.
gonna stay in there.
Yeah.
The
No.
sneeze is gonna come out when I'm in the middle of doing something important on the podcast.
Well, let's do something important.
All right, let's do a show. Hi, everybody.
That's you.
We're here. At you. At you here. All right. It's podcast time. Let's get serious. Serious faces only, everyone. Everybody needs to be serious right now.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Everybody right now. All right, let's do this. Welcome, everyone, to Good Night and Good Game, your source for geek news for the weeks that were. I'm your host, James, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Hector,
Hello.
and our fantastic producer, John.
It's me.
This week on the show, after the news, we're taking it easy in the boss room, and we're going to cover some more movies that we think everyone should see. But before we start, don't forget that you can head over to goodnight.gg as a patron of our show. You can suggest topics for us to talk about. Also, as a patron, you get access to our off-week episodes. We are now into Season 2 of our Tales from the Crypt Watch and Recap. It's only $1 to join our Patreon and hear us talk about people sticking Q-tips in their ears. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the show proper as we get into the Weekly Raid.
The Weekly Raid.
All right, everyone. We have so much to talk about when it comes to the news this week. Kicking things off the news this week, we've got a little more information about Mike Flanagan's upcoming The Exorcist remake.
Woo!
We know that John Leguizamo has joined the cast.
God, yes.
And we also have a huge roster of Mike Flanagan's go-to actors like Raul Coley, Kate Siegel, Hamish Linklater. We're all going to be joining the film. There was a cast announcement today that was on Blue Sky, and I want to
Carla
say...
Gugino, right?
It was,
As
yeah,
well?
It was something like 10 of the actors that Flanagan always works
Because
with.
if she's not in
Oh,
it, I
nice.
have zero interest.
Yeah, I mean, Kate Siegel will always be there, so
Right.
you know, I'm automatically in. But yeah, no, his rotating cast of miscreants are all my absolute favorites, and I love that. Like, not only do they make these amazing works of art and stuff like Haunting of Hell House, but also they just seem to really like working with each other,
Mhm.
and I love that.
Yeah. So I'm really curious for what this means for the scope of the movie, because like I said, today it was like an announcement of like something like 10 actors that was posted on Blue Sky. And if you go back and watch The Exorcist, there's like 5 people in that movie.
Yeah.
So obviously the scope's going to be much bigger in scale, and I'll be really curious to see how it all plays out from that. An expansion to the Megan horror universe called Soulmate was seemingly scrapped recently after it had completed filming.
Oh, that sounds cool. Damn it.
This was due to poor sales numbers of Megan 2.0.
Man, Megan 2 was a good one. Y'all should have skipped Megan 1.
Wait, are they blaming us for not making the next Megan?
Well, it's not even Megan.
Everybody hold on to your tits. We're not even through it yet. All right.
I'm offended on behalf of Megan 2. That shit was awesome.
However, we are now hearing that Soulmate is going to be getting a release as it received an MPA rating this week.
Fuck yeah.
It has been given an R rating, which is interesting because Megan and its sequel were both PG-13 horror films.
Mhm.
So the pitch is, Soulmate follows a man who acquires an artificially intelligent android to help him cope with the recent loss of his wife. In an attempt to create a truly sentient partner, the man inadvertently turns a harmless love bot into a deadly soulmate.
Wait, this almost sounds like AI just with a twist.
Right, yeah, no, it's literally he talks to ChatGPT.
Not AI,
too
the
much.
concept, the movie made by Steven Spielberg.
Oh.
With Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking more of a, so my theory as to why this is rated R is because the minute someone said soulmate, I thought like, well, of course, if you make a child doll for a child that they can be their best friend, they're gonna make an adult doll for an adult.
Yep, they're gonna fuck it.
Well, yeah, they're gonna fuck it. I mean, don't get it twisted. People were gonna fuck the child doll too. As gross as that is, a little bit that's what that's for. The
None of us
adult
voted
one.
Republican, by the way, so
No,
don't
yeah.
bring that here.
Yeah, that.
Not in my house.
Keep away from it. But what I'm saying is the adult doll, yeah, they're gonna fuck it, but I think it's to marry.
Right.
I think it's your soulmate. So we might have like, because in America we get away with all the violence at a PG-13, this might be a little sexier.
Right.
Which, I mean, honestly, the second I heard the title, I was like, that sounds like an intriguing concept, and I want to watch that movie
If it makes
because
you
Megan
feel
2 was
better,
dope.
It is Soul M8TE because Megan had the 3 in it.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you mean?
They put the number in the title.
Yeah, there's a
It's
3
the
instead
thing.
of an E in Megan.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's,
that's how it works.
they spelled it wrong.
Yeah. All right, so let's get on to Soulmate. If you're looking for something good to watch on Shudder this month, I know I am, might I direct you to a documentary that gets released on March 20th called 1,000 Women in Horror. This documentary is going to talk about the history of women in horror, why women are so important to the genre, and why women are actually so attracted to the genre overall. This is something that I just heard about the other day, and I was like, I cannot wait for this to come out. Yeah, it's I don't know how long it's going to be, or if it's going to be multiple parts, but Shudder just put up the poster for it, and they just put out a trailer for it as well. And yeah, even in the trailer, they're just like, you know, people don't talk enough about like why women love this genre, and also we're the stars of the genre, and like everything about the trailer was just like, yes, you are right, yes. I mean, when we talk about horror movies all the time, what's the most commonly thing brought up? Who's the final girl? Right? So yeah, I'm super excited about this documentary. It's going to be on Shudder at the end of the month. If you don't have a Shudder account, it's super cheap. Get one. It's worth your time, I promise you. It's my weekly praise for the streaming service. All right, so Hector, I'm going to have you answer some questions for me.
Hit me.
Would you get excited if I told you that Sony was working on a new Venom movie?
No.
What if I told you that Sony was working on a new Venom movie and that it's animated and that the team behind Final Destination Bloodlines was working on it?
You have my curiosity.
According to The Hollywood Report, Tom Hardy is understood to be involved in some way, but there's no information that has been verified as to what his involvement will be, if any. It's just that he has some involvement. He may be the voice of Venom like he was previously.
It would
We
be
don't know.
good if he was the voice for me. He does a good job at that.
It'd be weird if he was involved and wasn't the voice.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, this fully has my attention now. That they're not going to spend an insane amount of money filming a movie like no one wants to see.
Right.
Animating something like this they should have done all of the Venom movies this way. They really should have. They probably would have been more popular.
Right.
Imagine a Spider-Verse level of attention paid to Venom. That sounds fucking killer.
Yeah.
Imagine how cool Carnage could have been.
I mean, we're waiting for so many animated things coming out of Sony right now.
Oh, God,
I mean, Lord, when will you grace us with Into the Spider-Verse? Also, take your time. We don't want to rush it, but God, we can't
Yeah.
wait for when that comes out. That will probably be like seeing it multiple times in the theater kind of experience.
Oh, yeah. Cannot wait. Same for, the eventual K-pop Demon Hunters, too.
Right? Yep. Thank you for all of those things.
Mhm.
Put them in our fates.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so while we are not an anime news podcast, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the hugely successful anime Neon Genesis Evangelion turned 30 this year, which means as somebody who would buy them as they came out on VHS, I am officially old. But in news, it was reported this week that Nier director Yoko Taro is going to be taking a crack at the anime that has already been rebooted several times. Now, we don't know if this project will be another reboot or his own take on the world, but what I do know is that to play in the world of Evangelion, it takes a certain level of, like, weirdness to do.
I would say full-on madness.
And if you know Yoko Taro,
Oh, you get
this dude is weird.
And that's the thing is, like, I think about Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'm thinking about its creator, and I'm like, man, yeah, that's, that dude, yep, it's fucked up. That's the other guy's got some issues with things and with people and certain
Especially
types
with
of
the
people
fans.
and with fans. And he just really wants to tell his fucking story the way he wants to tell it. And if you like multiplied him by like at least 1.5, maybe 3 times, you get close to Yoko Taro. like Yoko Taro doing Evangelion is, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of a good comparison. It's like
There
fuck man, Mad Max doing like The Punisher. like what are you gonna get? I don't know, but it's gonna be fucking awesome and wild.
Yeah, there was somebody who posted on the really shitty social media site that was just like, "Oh, Yoko Taro's working on Evangelion. I can't wait because it's not going to be woke." And
That's the dumbest thing I've
somebody
ever heard.
replied back. It was just like, "You've never played a Yoko Taro game before, have you?"
Yeah, or if you have, you didn't.
You didn't get it.
Did you? It's okay if you can't read. Like you can still play video games if you can't read. Like that's no shade. Please learn to read though.
Okay. Yeah. But Yoko Taro doing Evangelion is going to be a blessing for everybody. I honestly do hope that it's not a reboot. I am
same.
hoping that it's more of a, we're going to, because like all of Evangelion has always been just like in Tokyo 3.
Yeah.
We don't know what the rest of the world was like.
Yeah. All we get is people coming in from the outside, like Asuka, but you also have stuff like in the movie remake, you have the girl from America whose name I'm forgetting right
Yeah,
now.
Mari.
Yeah. And so you have snippets of what's going on outside of Japan, but it'd be really cool to just see more of the world.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so yeah, Yoko Taro. And by the way, if you've never seen a picture of Yoko Taro, he wears a giant moon with a face on his head.
Yeah, because you haven't ever seen a picture of Yoko Taro's face. He doesn't want his face anywhere.
Right. So, yeah, he's just, even in like company pictures where they're like having a company picnic, he's there with the giant mask on his head.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Now that that's out of the way, let's jump into some gaming news. All
Oh
right.
boy.
In Microsoft news, a ton of management changes happened this week. Phil Spencer, the face of Xbox, retired after 40 years at Microsoft.
Yay and boo.
With over a decade of those years leading Xbox specifically. In his place, Asha Sharma will be leading the Xbox brand going forward. Now, important, some people will find this a problem. Asha is not a gamer. She is actually coming from the AI division of Microsoft. So at this time, we don't know how this is going to really affect the Xbox brand.
There was no one more qualified to head Xbox than Phil Spencer.
Right.
And the fact that less than a year ago he said he wasn't going anywhere, and then like having this announcement come literally the week before the weekend he retired. So, like, within a few days, the fact that his successor, the person he literally had under his wing to take this job, pieced out the second that he did. The fact that the third person in line got put into something else, and that we got, the AI CEO to come in and helm the ship, is a very fucking suspicious. And, like, if I was to put on my conspiracy theory hat here, it's, look, to bleed this much executive talent out of this branch of your business might mean you don't want it anymore. I'm very strongly getting the feeling that Microsoft is trying to exit the video game market.
So let's talk about that because I have another bit of news for that we can tie into this and we can have a bigger discussion about it. Because with all the management shakeups, we did find out that Microsoft is working on a new Xbox. Its codename is Project Helix, and they are focusing on a system that will, quote, both play PC and Xbox games. It is possible that we'll know more about this as soon as the Games Developer Conference, because that's right around the corner. It's like, I want to say maybe next week. And Asha has stated that she will be talking about whatever's next for Xbox there.
Yeah, no, should be very interesting. Look, a console, especially right now, especially with the AI thing going, and they're probably projecting out that this is what's going to happen forever. Spoiler alert, it's definitely not. They're probably thinking that consoles will have a very secure place in the future because hardware is too expensive.
Right.
And it's going to become, already is, far too expensive to build a home PC. Just because
This is the wrong time to announce a new console.
Yeah, because this is the business, because the AI business is eating up all the hardware. So a console is still a better value proposition unless you need a home PC for work. A console is still a better value proposition than building a whole PC by yourself, money-wise, if all you want to do is play video games, right? But let me remind you of something, and not you, the viewers at home, but the CEO who fucking made that statement. There is no such thing as an Xbox game. That does not exist. It hasn't for a little while. We don't have exclusives anymore. They're all on PC. A lot of them are on PlayStation now. So the future of Xbox as a console, yeah, it's probably a smart idea to stay in the console market. But the future of Xbox games, unless she announces some Xbox exclusives, I'm not seeing it.
Right.
I really, really don't. They can announce all the world premieres they want. That means you got to play the commercial first. Good job. Yeah. But if you don't have an exclusive to your console and nothing else, there will never, ever be a reason to buy it. Knowing that you will play ball and put your games on the other console that does have exclusives.
That is very true.
So I'm not seeing them, unless they start cranking out really great games that are going to sell systems, which is much harder to do these days than it was even just a generation ago. And by a generation ago, I mean the current generation.
Yep.
Then, I don't know. I don't see any future for Xbox as a brand.
Actually, I think your comment on exclusives segues perfectly into the next story.
Oh.
That is true, because according to GameDeveloper.com, Sony is reassessing its stance on launching their first-party titles on PC, scaling down the number of titles they're going to launch on PC, or possibly stopping PC releases altogether. From what we understand, Spider-Man 2 sold about 700,000 copies on PC versus the millions that are sold on PS5.
Right.
And we're hearing that they're kind of citing that metric as to why PC releases are not valuable to the Sony brand as console releases are.
Yeah, and that's silly, but I'll get into that.
Yeah, that's the summary of what's going on, and we can talk about it.
Okay, yeah. So,
700,000 is such a low number.
So, Spider-Man 2 came out for the PlayStation 5. At the moment of its release, one of the coolest, best-looking games out there on any system. Ran beautifully, ran flawlessly on the PS5. What a great looking and playing game. Like you can have your issues with it. It might not be your masterpiece or a 10 out of 10, but it's still a great fucking video game. A 9 out of 10 minimum from any metric you have. Easily a 4 out of 5, probably at least a 4.5 out of 5. This was a rock solid, great, maybe not greatest fucking video game. When it came out. A year, 2 years later, when it comes out on Steam at full price, it's not that anymore.
Right.
So it doesn't fetch $70.
Right.
There's a reason Sony moves their games a year to 2 years later onto Steam and they don't sell as well. It's because they release them at full fucking price. And they release them at console price, not PC price, which is still the best games out there are $60 if it's coming out on PC. So here we are. You release your game a year to two later at full price. So the only time people decide that is not worth it, that game is over a year old, I'll get it when it's on sale. And when it comes time for those spring sales, those summer sales, those winter sales, they lower it by like 10 to 15%. It takes 3 to 4 years before those games come down to about $30. And at that price point, that's when they sell their millions. That's when everyone's willing to grab this now several-year-old game that was supposed to be pretty great. I guarantee you, if Sony dropped those games onto Steam a year later, if that's the plan, if that's what you want to do for your like first single-player first-party titles, the ones that really sell systems, not stuff like Helldivers or obviously Marathon, which literally released today at time of recording, but stuff like God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2. If those are coming out a year later on PC, they need to launch under $60. They need to launch 50 max. And the next time there's a sale, like always release your games in summer if you want to, but buy that winter sale. If that game's $30, your first year, you're selling another 1 million copies, maybe 2. Easily.
Yep.
I don't know why you don't do this. It makes so much sense, and you have to have people working for you that are smarter than me.
Yeah, those both of those games are still on my wish list, by the way.
Because they're too expensive, right?
Yeah, and the last time they were on sale was finally like a price point I would have been fine with if I wasn't unemployed.
Right.
But yeah, it took that fucking long. Like, when did Spider-Man come out?
God, 22, 23?
It was 35 years ago.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
That's how long it came out. And it's still like the sale price I would have been fine with is still like $20-odd.
Yeah. Yeah, like full on. You make your games unavailable when you put them on PC, and then you complain when people don't buy them. Period.
Hector, could you hand me the hand in front of you? This is going to be a visual gag for those of you who are watching. Sorry.
Watch.
So here's the thing.
Sorry for our podcast audience. So here's the thing. Many games that are created for the Sony platform, their first-party titles, do have their own unique engines, and it does take a little bit of time and money and resources to convert those from PlayStation architecture over to PC architecture.
As Monster Hunter found out last year.
However, there are also many games that are made in programs like Unity or Unreal Engine that do have, and I know this from somebody trying to learn these engines myself, toggle switches
Yeah.
for just porting stuff over. And it's not always one-to-one. There's
Yeah.
always hiccups.
You have to
and
clean it up. It's code.
Things happen, right? But this is more sounding like Sony wanted to be in the PC market because they were competing hard against Xbox, and this is all hypothetical. But the more that we see Xbox kind of almost exiting the gaming market, the more we are seeing Sony go, well, I can just go back to just being on my own console.
Right.
Right. I don't have to compete against you in several spaces anymore. Like,
Yeah, all the games that you're going to put on Steam, you're going to put on me now, too.
right.
So why do I have to play in the PC market at this
Exactly.
point?
It's a very complicated thing, and I'd be really curious to hear people's theories about this. If you have any, send them to us in comments or shoot us an email, because this is such a complicated issue with Sony just saying, oh, we're going to start putting our first-party titles on PC, and now they're kind of going back on it, and there doesn't seem to be a logical reason for it. Like I kept saying, we're hearing these rumblings that the metric they're citing is Spider-Man 2 only sold 700,000 copies on PC.
How is that not worth it?
How is that not a huge
Yeah, how is that selling
number?
almost an extra 1 million copies over a year or two not worth it?
Yeah, am I crazy to think that most of the money had already been spent on developing it and
Oh, yeah.
Right.
not
oh, yeah, no,
that
the game
much
was developed.
money?
It just needed to be ported. And they
Yeah.
have people who do ports.
Yeah, the math isn't mathing somewhere.
Right, because they literally opened themselves up to third-party sales on Steam to be better competition. And now they're saying to be better competition, we're going to stop doing that. I don't get it.
Right? There's something shady going on.
Yeah, it almost feels like, I don't know, they think the way I'm thinking, that they need to consolidate back into themselves because they're about to be the only player in town.
Right.
Like, if, there's a Xbox console, sure. But to Coca-Cola, RC exists.
Right.
They don't need to do anything about that.
Right.
They don't need to compete with RC Cola. They're Coca-Cola. And I think what they're doing is downgrading Microsoft to RC Cola because they don't
Because Nintendo's already there.
They don't compete with Nintendo.
Right.
Nintendo is a
They
a child's
exist.
toy that exists in its own market, and that's not to diminish anyone who likes those things. I think it's a great
fun.
thing. Have fun. I would probably have one if I had the time and the money to indulge myself in a lot of those games. But there's too much stuff out there, so I don't. In the same way that I don't go see the Minecraft movie.
Note
I
to self.
Don't have any kids.
I'm going to try and create an Xbox logo that's an RC can, if I can do it. I'm thinking on that for our thumbnail.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, Sony decided they don't have to compete with Xbox anymore, so they pulled their games from Steam. Is the only thing I can think of.
Right.
Because, I mean, if you look at the sales of the Ultra Xbox, X1 X, Super X that it exists now, they're
Call it the Xbox Triple X, you cowards.
yeah, this whatever the most poorly named console on the planet's model is versus PlayStation and sales and game sales and everything else. I bet it's like they're not playing the same game,
Right.
much less in competition with each other.
Wild. All right, it was a weird news week for video game stuff because 50 days after its launch, the multiplayer live service game High Guard will be shutting down, which
What?
is an all too common industry trend these days.
What happened?
High Guard was the one more thing moment at the end of this year's Game Awards, and the internet was instantly critical of the way it looked. The open beta that was released just before the full launch had a respectable player count, but it really didn't drum up a lot of interest in the game.
Right.
High Guard is going to launch a huge content patch soon so that players can enjoy the quote-unquote final version of the game before it closes its doors later this month.
Yeah, so I think it was the last show we did where I talked about High Guard. And I, if I remember right, I said a lot of people are saying that this game is going to last, 6-8 months, and it'll close down at the end of the year because no one's playing it. And I said, I don't think they have that long.
Right.
Based on what happened to Concord, I give them another week, 2 weeks tops. Fucking called it.
Yeah.
But
honestly, I fucking called it.
Why bother perfecting it now? Like, I can understand if you're like doing a theater show, if you're on Broadway.
People find themselves in
and
really
you're
weird
getting-
situations.
And you're getting, I understand if you're like doing a show, like a live Broadway show, and you're getting shut down next month unexpectedly. You're like, you know what?
I'm gonna
Let's
do the
go
hell
out
out of
with
it.
a fucking show. But for a video game, for this, where clearly once you make the announcement, no one's coming to play. Why?
Well, and that laugh right there is exactly why they were shut down in 2 weeks and not 8 months.
Right. So what really happened behind the scenes was we heard rumblings that staff were going to be getting let go. They did end up getting a bunch of them ended up getting let go. And then a core team of developers stayed on because they had stuff that was kind of half ready to launch, but it was never
Right.
it was never completed. So they stayed on and went ahead and just crunched a bunch and said, like, let's just do one big patch for the fans, the people who like it. We'll release all the stuff that we kind of had in the can.
Right.
And we're going to be shutting down the servers later this month anyway. We'll let everybody have one last hurrah and have a good time, and it'll let us pay people that need money right now while we get our ducks in a row for whatever we're going to be doing next. This is a industry-wide problem that we have discussed many times on this show, and we're still staring down the barrel of how do we fix this?
You know why High Guard failed? John, you're going to love this.
Okay, go ahead.
Fucking toxic positivity.
I was just going to say, let me make my point real quick, and then
go
you can
ahead.
go. I was just going to say, what is the segment called that they were featured on? The One More Thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one more thing right at the very
I'm
end.
honestly now wondering, because I've seen this happen in a lot of YouTubers that have grown, like gotten hundreds, thousands, millions of subscribers, and they've been like, ooh, you know that shout out I do every week to a small indie creator? I'm no longer doing it. Because I've gotten feedback from a lot of them that it goes really fucking bad. And so
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the One More Thing will just be like shut down from now on. Because like any creator hearing that will be like, no. Don't, please don't shine a broad fucking piercing light on us.
Yeah, I think what it does is it definitely shows how that can be a bad thing, and it makes anyone who's going to get that one last thing aware of how it could land versus how they want it.
Well, we all know that
If it was fucking the next Call of Duty, nobody would have cared.
But I want to hear, before you, James, sorry, Hector, tell me your toxic positivity thing.
right.
You had a developer, right, full of talent that kind
And
of
vigor and vim.
and vim and vigor and paid for veteran talent that went away to try and solve a problem in multiplayer games that didn't exist, and created a game that no one was asking for. They got in there. They're like, we're going to make the next big thing because hero shooters are the next big thing. They were in 2016 when Overwatch launched. But they're not the next big thing. They weren't the next big thing 5 years ago when development of this game began. And they're certainly not the next big thing now. So over all of that time in development, you have people all on the inside, and they've got like the most generic characters in all of mankind. Characters that you look at and you're like, oh, I wonder what their deal is. And then someone tells you he's an ice monk, and you're like, no, that ain't right. He doesn't look like an ice monk. He looks like some kind of like nymphy rock star. You sure you don't want to redo that? Let's see. So. Oh, that's my aunt, by the way. She's saying hi to me. I'm Bebe.
Oh,
Yeah. Hi, Tia. We're talking about chat in case you're on the radio right now. So anyway, yeah, and it's just like, hey, yeah, no, this looks great. Oh, you want him to ride a horse and fight on horseback? That's fucking awesome. Do that. Show me how cool that is. And you know what? That part of the game was pretty cool. And it's like, oh, we're going to add a base and we're going to do things. And everyone just walking around, smelling everyone else's farts, going, look at how fucking creative we all are.
Can I fight with a guitar?
Yeah, they never play tested it, never showed it to anyone. It was a complete fucking secret, and they're all sitting around clapping each other on the back, congratulating each other because their game was probably a little cooler than Overwatch, even though they were making it nearly 10 years later. And then Jeff Keighley shows up at their office, all fucking like half chub, like, yeah, this is cool, guys. Can I tell everyone?
The most middle age of white guys
Yeah.
said, you're awesome.
And he's like, yeah, you can tell everyone. I guess let's do it that way, right, guys? Yeah, it'll be great. Everyone's gonna love this. That was never going to be the move, and anyone smart enough to have looked at that game from the outside of that studio could have told them that. Could have told them they didn't have anything to show people. The right release for Highguard was for it to be shadow dropped and get a small YouTube trailer. Get a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand people playing, and a few people who stick around going, hey, this could really be something. And the developers and the engineers that go, cool, what's your feedback? What else can we do to make it better? And over time, the game gets better and builds word of mouth, and suddenly you're Deadlock. But no
Which
one's
we will
Deadlock.
talk about later today.
We will. But you're not Deadlock because y'all weren't that good. You weren't half or even a third of what that team is. And you just sat there in your own little echo chamber being really nice to each other, thinking your shit didn't stink. And all of a sudden you showed it to the world on the biggest stage in video games. And everyone was like, huh, I met that. I nothing that. I literally, like, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I nothing that. I never want to see it again. And then that was the end of Highguard. From announcement in, what was it, early January, late December?
It was late December because
It was late
it was a
December
video
at
game.
It was
Game
early
Awards.
yesterday morning.
Yeah, for announcement in late December to absolute final death before March.
I want to say March 12th or something is going to be the last day. I can't remember. It's going to
Yeah.
be, it's a mid to late March is when the servers officially close down.
Yeah,
If you-
and
if
there's
you were-
a danger of overhype, because of course there is, but I'm saying toxic positivity. Everyone just sitting around being like, we're great, everything's going to work out, this is going to be awesome, without anyone around at all who could contradict you.
If you were a fetus, nobody would question the legality of that abortion.
That's Highguard.
Highguard. It came and it went.
Yep,
You'll never
yep.
see it again.
The internet has been coining the phrase like, Concord 2, Concord 3.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's been going around because every time a product launches and then fails immediately, it's just like Concord.
We
So
need
now-
to stop that.
Concord.
We're going to run out of numbers.
Now it's like High Guard. It's like Concord. Could we call it? What would it would be? High Cord. I don't know. I'm grasping. Like, well, so are these developers, by the way.
Absolutely grasping.
Yeah. Oh man.
It sucks. And
It
there's-
sucks for all of them. I feel very bad for them.
Right. We are a podcast where we are very pro developer. We want games to succeed, but you have to be very cognizant of your product, and there's ways to do things and ways not to do things. And it felt like so much of this product got rushed out so fast. It's the fucking Jeff Goldblum line in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Everyone was so preoccupied with whether or not they could.
Yep.
They didn't stop to think if they should.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're seeing, with these products that are getting rolled out like this. We only have a couple more news items before we roll over to our main topic. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about the world of esports for a second, because a website was recently launched and then quickly closed down. And this website would allow people to put bounties on live streamers who played Marvel Rivals,
No.
effectively paying people to throw games.
No.
What?
The website was intlist.org, and its mission statement was to, quote unquote, give players an avenue to name those who intentionally sabotage or throw multiplayer matches and put a price on their head. The website, by the way, had extremely poor security, and there was a data breach shortly after the website went live, and many of the usernames, email addresses, and everything who were using its services went out onto the internet. Because of this, Marvel Rivals is now taking a much harsher hand with people who intentionally throw games.
Good.
So
First
wait a
of
minute.
all-
Like, am I misunderstanding this? Like,
I know
if-
what you're about to say, John.
because this site exists, like I could be somebody who I'm like, hey guys, I know for a fact I'm gonna throw a game. So if we all bet on me throwing the game, is that what's going on?
No, so the way that it
Oh.
so the way that
No, they
the
would-
website proposed itself originally was to put a bounty on people who were throwing games. But there was no checks in filters in place to determine whether or not the person you were putting up for bounty was a thrower or not.
Right. So I might as well put Co-Carnage in there, or Lyric, or Moon, or any of like the top streamers.
So you put a bounty on them. You then find your way into the game. You intentionally throw the match.
Right.
You collect the bounty. There was one match, I want to say it was Flats, said he was in a either he was in a match or knew somebody that was in a match that 5 of the people in that game were intentionally throwing on both sides because they were both trying to collect the bounty.
Huh.
Wow. Yeah.
Why would you get the bounty if you're the one that threw the game? Because you're trying to catch people throwing games, right?
So let me break this down for you. The stated intention of the website was to place the bounty on people that throw.
Right.
'Kay.
And that's to go beat
Which-
them in a game.
People then realized it's much more lucrative to place a bounty on somebody that's really famous and then go throw that game.
But
If
how
I-
do you get the bounty if you're the one that threw the game?
Well, no, but you join the game with them on their side.
Yeah. So
Because it's a 6-player game.
Yeah,
and, they don't have a full team.
Right.
If you can find a way to queue with them by queuing at the same time in the
so
same region
they can't
on the same
detect that,
server.
oh, you're the one that threw the game, not them?
Well, it doesn't matter. The goal was to beat them.
Right.
Oh.
So it sounds really convoluted because it really is. But basically, anytime you introduce an economy of bad things on the
Yeah,
internet,
like-
worse things are going to happen.
Okay,
And
so
I
like,
can
here's
honestly,
what this is.
I can honestly get behind somebody self-sacrificing to win the bet. Like if you want to cheat and you're a big famous whatever player, fine, throw a game yourself and take the fall, take the hit, take the heat.
Right.
But
Yeah, no. So basically, what we have here is an app. You know, everyone. Well, this is America. We're all familiar with gambling apps.
What do you mean?
Everything's gambling. There's, all of sports is gambling now. Video games have been gambling forever. Fucking there are children's toys that are gambling. We're still pushing crypto, which is money if it were gambling. Like everything is
but
gambling.
it's not money. It can't be money because the only reason
not
it has
money,
value
it's gambling.
is based on real money. So if you spend it, you'd be a fool because you're supposed to. It's such a stupid paradox.
It's money if it were gambling.
Yeah.
It's so complicated.
So, obviously there are websites and apps for gambling. Now, what this is, let's say you want to bet on a boxing match, and you know that there's a history of people, say, betting on their opponent and then throwing the match so they can collect a bunch of money, right? And that would be throwing a game. And that is cheating. So what you have here is an app that was developed. It's basically throwthefight.com.
Right.
Yeah, it's not the gambling website. It's the cheated gambling website so that you win.
Right.
But even though you're the one that threw the fight, you still get the bounty
you
on
get the
somebody
money.
Yeah,
else.
because you bet on the other team.
It's so stupidly complicated,
Good
and
Lord.
yet it's not. In fact, it's that line from Glass Onion where he's just like,
It's so stupid, it's brilliant.
No, it's not.
It's just stupid.
So, from what we understand, the Discord is possibly still around, but is maybe getting closed down. The website itself has been shut down. Marvel Rivals, as soon as they heard about this, started to take legal action over all of
Good.
this.
They should have just called themselves a prediction market.
Right, exactly. Okay, let's end the news on a high note for once. Very simple one. But we finally have a release date for Insomniac's Wolverine game, which
Fuck
is
yes.
September 15th, 2026.
Oh, they gotta get just right ahead of GTA 6,
They
huh?
do.
The fucking world-ending meteor of November 2026. Because if your game releases anywhere near there, it's dead.
Yep, pretty much. Somehow it does feel like we've been waiting forever for this Wolverine game, but we also know like next to nothing about it.
Right? Yeah. We've barely seen any gameplay.
Yeah, so don't forget though that this is the team that brought us the most recent Spider-Man games.
Oh yeah.
And I
Great
can't
games.
believe that I'm saying this because I am a longtime Wolverine hater. But I'm so excited
How
to play
dare
this.
Yeah.
I was a 90s Marvel fan. Wolverine was in everything. I got so tired of him.
Yeah.
Him and fucking Gambit. Like
You
just
went out and you
get
bought
them the
Lobo
fuck here.
comics? Was that you?
Wrong comic market.
No, I'm just saying you hated Wolverine so much. You're like, I'm going to buy Lobo now.
Yeah, so the thing about James, and this is not a diss, is usually if everyone says something is great, he'll find a reason that it's not that great and go find the like C
That's
and
my job.
and then go
Hey,
buy the C
hey.
and D list material and be like, you know what, this shit's pretty good. And we need people like that.
Out of my lane.
You're not wrong, dude. Like Wolverine was super famous in the 90s, and I'm like,
Yeah, and you're like, fuck that. You know who's cool? Dazzler.
right? Oh, he's my favorite character in the X-Men arcade.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like Moon Knight, guys.
Yeah.
James,
That's so
step
good.
back. You're standing on my dick.
I'm sorry that I like D-list characters. I was also a very pretentious goth child. Like that's the way that I was. I do. They have backed off Wolverine some, and I have gotten him
Yeah.
into him in the comics since then. But there was a long period of time that Deadpool was the same way. Deadpool was in
True.
everything, and it was so infuriating because
Yep.
you just couldn't buy a comic without Deadpool showing up in it. And yeah, I was that way too. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm burned out of Deadpool. Like it was getting to be too much. But now I'm coming back around on Wolverine, and you know, he's got his great like 3-way relationship with Scott and Jean, and they share bedrooms, and that's cute to me.
That is
and
cute.
I love that for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Wolverine video game. I'm kind of excited for it. It'll be fun. All right, that's everything that we have for the news this week. But we're going to get into our main topic as we get into the boss room.
Boss room.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. It is time for the boss room, sometimes related to the news, sometimes not. This is the part of the show where we can dive deeper into our opinions on things, like this week's topic, movie recommendations. So, in the interest of honesty, it's been a really busy week for me. I got to attend the wonderful Coven 1934 2-day LARP. I got to go see Nine Inch Nails. I had multiple job interviews.
Yeah.
I wrote this script
Yeah.
2 hours before we needed to go live. And I wanted something really fun and really chill for the boss room this week. And honestly, I had so much fun the last time that we did movie recommendations. I had been wanting to come back for some time and make it a regular section. So everybody gets 3.
Yeah.
Them's the rules.
I really wish I knew what my 3 last time were.
Because you would just say him
Because I
again?
might just fucking say them again.
Oh.
See, I had that problem too because I recommended Franklin last time.
Yeah,
and
you did.
I was in the shower and I was like, oh, wait, I already talked about Franklin.
I don't remember us doing this ever,
Yeah,
so.
we did this
Oh,
not
yeah,
that long ago.
Fuck.
We've all
Okay,
just
okay.
gotten. Hold on, I'm gonna we're going to go in order.
Yeah.
John, you're going to start.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm trying to pick 3 that I know I didn't pick last
This
time.
is why I have my letterbox, because I was just like, all right, let me look.
And
at
we're
what I watched
doing
recently.
one each in a round, right?
Yeah,
one each
well,
in a
one
round.
each,
All right,
3
everybody-
rounds.
First
so
of all-
John, Hector, me.
Everybody pause real quick. I'm stopping and then recording again because the Zoom, I don't trust it.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's proven itself untrustworthy.
Welcome to us dealing with technology. We had a problem last time.
yeah.
It was not great. It's a great device that you have there for recording us that you don't trust.
I
do review. not
trust it.
Oh, that's so good.
We are actually doing a backup recording on Audacity, but
Hi, sorry about that, everyone. We're just making sure that all our technology is working properly.
Yeah.
We want to have a really great conversation about movies, and John's just over there poking his thing.
Yeah.
Not literally poking his thing. He's poking
He's
the
poking
electron,
a couple
the-
of his,
the-
a
the-
couple different of his things.
the electronic device.
He's got fingers in
He uses to-
every place they can be.
Yeah.
everybody calm down for a second because I'm going to have to stop and restart this stupid thing.
Oh no, this is what live radio is like. Sorry, everybody. This is what you do with when you're trying to get a good clean audio. Did it freeze?
Yeah, it's frozen. And by the way, this is also being recorded on Audacity.
Good.
So we got that. But because I know we're being recorded on Audacity, I'm just telling the Zoom people now it's fucking frozen with the circling hourglass.
How exciting.
So I'm rolling a little of that footage. 1 second. All right.
Yeah, that's just
Stopping.
the kind of situation that we find ourselves in sometimes.
I'm literally going to have to do the pop. I'm literally doing the pop the batteries thing out. So apologies, listeners. Watch out for your speakers.
All right.
Hello.
Can you
We
hear
are-
us? I hope that the audio
Hello,
is
hello.
back.
All right. Yes, and I see it on Audacity, and we are rolling again, and it is on the Steam Duck. Steam Duck. I always want to call it Steam
Duck.
Duck. It's Steam Yard, but it has a duck logo.
Steam Duck would be so good.
Yeah.
Duck would be good.
I type that in every time I look for it. Anyway, okay.
All right.
You want to know what my 3 movies are? Starting with just number one.
Just number one.
Just number one.
What
All right.
is it? Why do you love it? Why do you recommend it? Does it get your dick hard?
Right.
Maybe don't answer the last one.
All right, we're doing this. It is 2011 Love, which for the record, there were actually 2 movies released in 2011, just called Love. One was a film made in Japan. This one was a sci-fi epic movie made by William Eubanks. And it was actually, funny enough, it was sponsored by Angels and Airwaves. If you don't know them, think Blink 182, the guy who did Blink 182. What was his name? The crazy conspiracy theorist who has, for the record, irreparably damaged journalism probably forever. He's the guy who's promoted so many UFO conspiracy theories that have actually made it into mainstream media. He is a fountain of misinformation, but this movie made by William Eubanks, this guy who was just working like in a lens factory as a wannabe filmmaker, and he started doing a little commercial work, and they saw some of his stuff, and they're like, well, could you turn this into a feature film? And he's like, yes. And instead of renting anything, like renting sets or whatever, he literally built a space station that you are seeing, if you're watching us, in his back fucking yard. All the footage you're seeing right now took place in, I want to say like Montana, on the 7-acre spread that his parents have. So he built a space station by hand with like Home Depot and shit with his family. And the movie cost less than $1 million. And not a great movie. It's an okay movie. It's fair if you like, esoteric sci-fi that's kind of a slow burn for 90 minutes. It's up your alley. Not great, but for what it costs, knowing how he made it, it is fucking miraculous. And he's gone on to make a few others. He made The Signal. Lawrence Fishburne's on the cover of it. A few other really interesting movies. He is like, I consider him to be sort of a lesser known version of who's the guy who did Ex Machina?
Alex Garland.
Yeah, Alex Garland. Like, imagine if Alex Garland was as smart as everybody thinks Alex Garland, and that is William fucking Eubanks. Like a brilliant, terrific filmmaker, and I recommend it. Love 2011.
Right on.
Okay. That's your first one. That's called Love?
Love
Love
2011. You have to type in that exactly, or else everything in the world will come up for a movie called Love.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies and shows and a lot of songs and
Yeah.
lots
Right.
of stuff called love.
Hector, you're up to bat. What was your first movie?
Alright,
Recommendation?
So my first movie, and I'm going to start off with an easy one. Easy for me, but I'm saying an easy one because the movie I'm about to recommend to you is technically for children. But when you go back and you watch it, you will find it to be deep. You will find it to be philosophical. It's about the power of family, about what it might mean to move on from the loss of your parents or the guiding force in your life. It's about losing everything and coming back from it, and also about what it means to come up against an unstoppable force. I am talking about the 1990 classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right. That's a bold...
I swear to God, if you have not seen this movie in the last, I don't want to say since you were a child, which will probably be most of you, this movie is much, much better than even you thought it was when you were a child.
And having watched it recently on HD, it from like a Blu-ray rip, it is
Gorgeous, right?
It is gorgeous. It still holds up. It is beautiful, dark city filmmaking.
Incredible cinematography, incredible lighting. The costumes look great. The
Best
characters
April.
look great.
Best
By
April.
far the best April. You have 1980s fucking New York full on display, filmed the way it was filmed by
Nasty
fucking
New York.
Scorsese and shit. And Turtles, this was, again, a kid's movie, and imagine me, little, 8, 10-year-old me going to the theater, and all I've ever seen is a cartoon, and here comes, Raphael, who's mad because he lost his Sai in their first fight, and he goes, damn! And I'm like,
Yeah!
ooh, this movie is swearing.
That turtle said a naughty word.
Yeah, but I swear to God, these movies get worse over time, but they're still funny. Like, the third one has almost no redeeming value, but I will defend the second one a lot.
I will too. There was one that we went and saw recently that was good.
Oh
though.
yeah, the one that the animated one when they're all like
that was
actual
incredible.
teenagers.
Yeah.
That was an incredible movie.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, absolutely. But this movie, the way they move out to the country and are pretty sure their father has died,
And you could feel that mourning.
you feel the sorrow. The way he comes to them in a vision while they're all meditating together as brothers around a fire. Not to tell them, hey, I'm alive, come rescue me, but to tell them, you are adults, I've trained you well, go out and do what you know you need to do, I love you.
Yeah.
Just fucking moving shit when they think their brother has died and they run away to try and recuperate, like the whole thing.
And I'll even give the moonlighting relationship between Casey Jones and April O'Neil a pass.
Yeah, I mean the two human, the two not wearing costumes actors in the movie doing a great job.
Yeah,
in
fantastic
a children's movie.
actors.
Acting, having chemistry, having a little bit of heat, a little bit of will they, won't
For
they.
the record, Moonlighting destroyed a generation of screenwriters. Great show,
sure.
but it destroyed a generation.
this movie, like, if I were to recommend anything to you, and I know I didn't do this one last time, this is one for the ages. Show it to your kids. Show it to your own heart. Show it to the little child inside of you. Watch it again. I swear to God, you won't be disappointed.
And show it to any dude, bro, who's like, man, they've never done a good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie like the way the comic books portrayed it.
Yeah, no,
It's
no.
this movie.
That's
It's literally this movie.
Yeah.
Literally this movie.
Like, straight up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1990. Go watch it.
Okay. So I'll jump into my first pick for movie recommendations. You won't be surprised if I'm going to tell you it's a horror pick. This is one that I'm actually planning on watching with Hector. If you know anything about me, or if you know nothing about me, you're about to find out something interesting right now. I love religious horror. I just have a thing for it. I can't explain it.
Nerd.
But religious horror fucking does it for me in a way I cannot begin to describe. And this is somebody that really does not have a lot of faith on the back end to talk about. But there's also something else that I really love. And that's a movie that when you look at the ratings for it, you see something that says 6 out of 10 on IMDb and 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
If you see this combination for a horror movie, I promise you, as a lifelong horror fan, you're about to have a good time. Or a bad time, but the bad time is the kind of good time that you want. So I want to talk about a movie that I turned on randomly, believe it or not. I was scrolling through my Shudder. I hadn't been watching my Shudder in a while. Saw this pop up. Okay. It's called The Righteous. It is a Canadian black and white psychological horror film. It won awards.
Oh, okay.
It is written and directed and starring Mark O'Brien.
This is a recent one.
2021, but yes.
Damn.
Okay.
Mark O'Brien, the actor, this is his very first movie he has ever made. And this movie, if I will say this right now, if you like The Lighthouse, this is probably for you. I saw this and I said, I can't wait to watch this again with Hector. And I know that you don't usually do a whole lot of religious horror, but when I find one,
Don't mind it.
I got to jump into it. And the idea of this film is that there's a grieving ex-priest, and they lost their daughter. He left the service, got married. They adopted a child. You find out why the child was adopted over the course of the movie. And one night after burying their child, they hear a noise outside. And a wounded man is on their doorstep, because they live in the middle of nowhere. And it is a very slow burn film. Figuring out who the stranger is interesting. Figuring out whether or not the religious iconography that you are seeing on the screen is actually happening, or if it is a reflection of what is going on in the character's mind, especially the final shot. I won't spoil it. It talks about guilt. It talks about grief. It talks about redemption. It talks about how we handle the kind of sins that you can't come back from. There's a discussion between the ex-priest and another priest at one point. And he says, "Father, have you ever sinned?" And of course, the father's response is, "Well, we all have, right? We're all born with sin." And he goes, and he looks at him, he goes, "No, have you ever committed the kind of sin you can't come back from?" And that's part of the premise of this movie. And it's fascinating, and not a lot of people can dig black and white, and I get it, but it is beautifully shot. And this was Mark O'Brien's this was his director debut. And every frame a painting of this movie. So that is my first recommendation.
Is there any nudity?
No, you would not want to see his wife.
Okay.
She's very old.
How you don't know that about me?
Right.
Well, let's not have that conversation.
Hey,
As a bonus, The Righteous, it's on Shudder. Just saying, my other Shudder plug.
all right.
Do it. So John, that brings it back to you. What is the second film that you would like to discuss?
All right, this is another what I would consider to be mediocre if you're just thinking of it as a regular old movie, but it is what you might think of as just teen comedy trash. But when you watch it, you realize, oh crap, this is like some of their first tries at making a movie, and you can feel that what I love to call frustrated filmmaker. Like, in fact, the very opening of the movie is a oneer that I swear to God, no other YouTuber has talked about. And it goes from a car showing up at school, follows the entire school, people rushing into school, and eventually like ventures back to the person you were in the car with starting his job. And nobody talks about this oneer. And for the record, this is a movie that was produced by Steven Spielberg. It's called 3 O'Clock High, by the way. And a lot of you right now are like, wait a minute, why does that sound familiar? It's because you're my age and you grew up when Ted Turner probably bought it out and showed it on cable like a dozen times a day. It's about a bully who looks like Val Kilmer and threatens to beat some kid up at 3 o'clock, and there's no way you can get out of this fight, nerd. And that's literally it. That's the whole plot. Spielberg produced it. When he saw the final product, he's like, this is a little bit angry for me. I'm taking my name off.
It's real violent. There's a lot of swearing.
Yeah, real violent, a lot of swearing. And the lead character, starts crossing these weird, kooky lines.
I don't think I've ever heard of this movie.
Wow.
I need to make a confession here. I had this movie on VHS as a child. I've seen it about 5,000 times.
Snap.
And it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Wow.
But I haven't thought about it in probably about 10 years.
I'm actually shocked you haven't seen it, James, because again, I guarantee
fucking
this was
love this
bought
movie.
up by Ted Turner and shown ad nauseum every fucking day on cable.
But there was no swearing on the cable version.
Yeah.
I'm no pussy asshole.
Yeah.
Like this is, don't fuck this up, Mitchell.
And
it's
it
a
just-
great fucking movie.
And it has so many of these great shots, and you can feel that frustrated filmmaker, who got their hand at a low budget and just shot for the stars, and that's why I love it.
Yeah. The teenage of teenager movies. I mean, like.
And when I say Val Kilmer,
All the way around. He doesn't look like Val Kilmer. I
he
don't know where you're
looks
getting that
just
from.
like Val
that
Kilmer.
guy is an actor who's been in a lot of stuff.
yeah, he was the bad guy in Kindergarten Cop.
Also that. Yes.
Not a great actor, but he
but
plays
he has
his
a
role
face.
really well.
Yeah, he does the thing.
How does he not look like Val Kilmer?
I just don't think it. Val Kilmer looks like Val Kilmer. This guy is like at least 4 shades darker and looks like he works out all the time. Val Kilmer has never looked like that.
All right, Hector, what is your second?
I want to talk about 3 O'Clock High for a second.
No. All right, yes, please.
it
Yes,
is
talk about
okay.
it.
There's a lot to love.
There is
about
so
this.
much to love. I just want to echo John's sentiment. If you've never seen this movie, fucking find and watch this movie.
And it has like one of the first ever like alt girls in it, like just so
She's
dark
very
and
much
edgy.
like the main character's sister has very much manic pixie energy.
Yeah, she's like, let me
Before-
save you by doing a chant with you. Like, what?
Yeah, but before we ever had any of this,
I mean,
it
I
was-
guess if you guys are trying to sell it to me.
it's good,
Yeah.
man. Like this is a fun fucking movie. And very much feels like a self-insert character for the director because the main character is so nerdy. He's hypoglycemic, like as a plot device. It's a whole thing. My second movie.
Second movie, Hector. What do you got?
I do not think I did this one last time. And I'm not 100%.
if you did, I swear to
but I
fucking God.
really don't think I did.
We should talk about it.
We have to talk about it because, much like my last movie and 3 O'Clock High, but honestly, this one, I probably have a top 10 of movies that I could whip out for you without much of a problem. The thing is, there would probably be 5 or 6 movies that I would leave off that list. And those movies are uncategorizable, unlistable, unrankable. They're great in their own way, but they're also my favorite movie of all time. There's probably about 5 or 6 of these total because I'm old and I spent my entire life watching movies, and some of them just hit different. Even than a movie that I would say is like one of the best ever made. Just I throw it above that because that's my life experience. One of these movies, probably the one that I might try, I say this about all of them, the one I might try and put on the top of the list at some point of the unlistable list is The Way of the Gun by Christopher McQuarrie. If anyone knows that name, they'll recognize it from literally every Mission Impossible movie. Guy knows how to fucking direct a movie. Guy knows how to direct action. Guy knows how to direct actors, knows how to form a relationship with them and get them to do interesting stuff. He can make the most mundane thing look incredibly fun. Now, this movie, the plot of this movie is you have two delinquents played by Ryan Phillippe and Benicio del Toro. And they just, kind of like drifters, bandits, modern day pirates out there in the world trying to make their money. And they just happen across a woman who is a surrogate mother for a rich couple, being paid, $1 million in cash to carry their baby. And they're like, that's a hostage. That's a ransom. There's our payday. They kidnap this woman, and things ensue. Let me tell you why this is one of my favorite movies of all time. The actors in this movie, this movie does not deserve any of these actors, and it has all of them. I have already mentioned Ryan Phillippe.
It might
and Benicio
deserve
del
Ryan
Toro.
Phillippe.
Juliette Lewis, Taye Diggs,
Yeah, damn.
fucking Joffrey Lewis, James Caan
Shit.
I wanna-
is incredible.
I want to
in
make a
movie.
comment before you go any further. with
Also, Sarah
this.
Silverman. a
So
cameo.
when Hector and I were getting to know each other, you drink, you get high a little bit, and there are conversations.
put on a favorite movie.
There are things that one talks about when you're in those kind of conditions, and I think we got into. There was a whole big group of us. We were sitting around at your place one day, and we were talking, and it was one of those. Well, I'm a straight guy, but
But
I have a list.
oh yeah,
And on my list of if I were into dudes, top of the list, Taye Diggs and Ryan Phillippe.
Wow.
And Hector,
and I go, dude.
and Hector's like, have you ever seen Way of the Gun? And I was like, no. He's like, they're both in it.
Yeah, and they're both super hot in it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man, this movie. So I have a past life, a former youth past life as a firearms enthusiast. Now I am still a gun owner and practiced and a good shot. Back then, I was the type of person who was training to be special forces. I loved guns, but I also loved gun safety and gun analytics. And I knew, like every good gun owner does, that gunfights in movies are bullshit. That no one's counting rounds, no one's thinking about cover, no one's thinking about the thing they're sitting that they're
Unless
hiding
you're John
behind.
Wick.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one keeps their arms straight.
No one keeps their arms straight. No one aims correctly. No one looks down their sights. People hide behind things that are not bulletproof and not even bullet resistant. An average 9mm will go through 9 pieces of drywall, and you see someone hiding behind their IKEA table made of fucking like wood, and it's like, oh, that guy with the M16 surely won't hit me now. Like all of it's horseshit. This movie, the gun choreography and the fight choreography was done by a former Marine who was a friend of the cast, I think maybe a friend of McQuarrie's. And it's the most accurate shit I've ever seen. Except for like the final fight scene, which needed to be probably a little more exciting, every round is counted. Guns jam, and people deal with their jams mid-combat. People use correct tactics. People clear rooms correctly. People communicate with each other correctly during firefights. People set up where they would if they were actually trying to engage each other with any kind of knowledge at all of how to use a firearm and how to correctly strategize a combat situation. It feels beautiful in its simplicity. There's a poetry to it. Unlike something like the ballet of something like John Wick or something like a Jet Li or a Donnie Yen movie, this is so much more cold and calculating and like fucking effective because God, obviously this is how you would do that sort of thing. It's beautiful to watch. The writing is whip smart. The movie is mostly dialogue with 2 or 3 action scenes peppered throughout, but you will find scenes in there that will horrify you to their core. your absolute core. It's God, what a movie, what a ride, a movie you can watch multiple times, like my favorite Fight Club, which I'm sure I talked about last time. A movie that is different the second time you watch it, and then again the third time you watch it, because you're just noticing everything happening in the background now that you understand the
I'm
story.
due for a rewatch, honestly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
ripped your Blu-ray. I gotta watch it now.
I cannot recommend this movie enough.
You have the
Again,
movie poster.
I have the movie poster framed under glass, no less. And
Such an adult.
yes, and I have the Blu-ray. Yeah, obviously one of my absolute favorites of all time, and you should absolutely watch it. The
James?
Way of the Gun by Christopher McQuarrie.
All right. So, my second pick of the three, believe it or not, guys, it's a horror movie.
Oh, this guy.
It is another mid-tier rated on IMDb, but 83 on Rotten Tomatoes. Y'all, I only watched this one recently, and it is on Shudder, and I need to sing the praises of this movie. The movie is called Queens of the Dead. Queens of the Dead came out last year, and we actually talked about this movie on this very show, saying, hey, there's a movie coming out by George Romero's daughter, and it's a zombie movie, and it's a drag queen movie. It is the gayest, most fabulous zombie movie I have ever seen. And it's so realistic, not in its interpretation of zombies, but the amount of snark that goes on between these drag queens. As somebody who has attended a few drag shows in my time, I have some wonderful friends that also love drag, and it is brilliant. It is funny. It is, honestly, I was sitting here watching it because it is, in its own way, a form of social commentary in the way that her father's movie, Night of the Living Dead, was. Just in a different world. And it's so fun, and you get so invested in these characters, and most of the movie takes place just around this particular drag show that's going on, and with these drag queens and what they are going through. But there's also kind of a side story that's kind of going on at this hospital when the zombie outbreak happens. It's so campy. It's so over the top. It is so fucking drag queens, man. like you listen to the way that they snark at each other, and at some point, if you've ever been around drag queens, you're just like, I feel like all of these conversations were taken from actual conversations. Like, there's a way that they snap at each other that's like complimentary and also has venom to it. And
It has the parlance. The drag queen, I mean, gag is good, and
Right.
et cetera. It knows how to talk.
yeah, and everybody has, and the problems that everybody has with each other, they can be of an intimate nature. They could be one of the more fascinating characters, and I can't believe that they pulled this one off, is they have a character that starts the movie as an absolute bigot, and you kind of like him by the end of the movie. And, like, that's a hard thing to pull off.
Yeah,
And,
true.
like, it is very fascinating, and it's very fun. And, again, this is George Romero's daughter. Like, she came out swinging and said, yeah, my father's the guy who made Night of the Living Dead. This is my version of it because this is the world I come from, and I want to tell their story during the zombie apocalypse. And there's already not enough queer horror as it is, but to make a movie like this was so much fun, and I say so much heart. I really think it's worth your time. Get drunk or get a little high and turn on Queens of the Dead. It's absolutely worth it. All right, John.
All right. Well,
Third and final for you.
yeah, nice segue because the movie I'm going to talk about is what I would consider to be a non-zombie movie.
Okay.
And I've been slowly compiling a small list of these, but this one is one that I would actually insist on having you guys watch with me because it's not going to make sense at first. But it is called The Wanderers. Came out in 1979. It's a movie about a street gang of toughs and, like like street gangs and teenagers and whatever. But you watch it, and keep in mind, this was 1979, and you see the cinematography following punches, moving with the action, like Quentin Tarantino, popularized the sense of camera. But had this movie become popular, and for the record, Gene Siskel actually regretted not reviewing this film when it was in theaters, because he finally saw it on home video, and he's like, holy shit, we made a mistake not watching this movie last year. It is an incredible, visceral, powerful film, but there is a gang in this film called the Ducky Boys, Irish gang, of course. And when they come out, literal smoke starts coming out, and the mood changes and the music changes, and you're like, oh, they're the zombies of the gang world. And it is just so fantastically done. And it's one of
I've never heard of this.
it's one of Christy Alley's first movies. And it's one of the first movies I ever saw as a kid where every punch felt like a fucking punch on screen. And I couldn't get over it, and they finally re-released it in high def.
I love that it has the Full House font for
Oh,
all of
yeah.
for showing everybody's names.
What is up with that trailer? The Full House font, but it's a beautiful movie, and it has some weird linkages to horror, and I highly recommend it. And I'm going to make you guys watch it.
Absolutely, I'm so in for that.
Super in.
All right, Hector, you have one more.
I do have one more, and I have a good recommendation. I'm leaning into one that every once in a while we'll have a conversation, and I'll be like, James, have you seen this movie? And he'll be like, no, I missed that one. And I'm like, well, I know what you're doing Saturday. You're going to come to my house, and we're going to eat, and we're going to watch a movie.
You bought me Rangoons.
Yeah, you got to get, it's good Chinese food, man. Yeah. So the last time we had this conversation, the movie that was brought up was Boots Riley's directorial debut, I believe, in the 2018 film Sorry to Bother You. Sorry to Bother You is a movie that takes place in a maybe current, maybe near future alternate Oakland. And it follows a young black man who doesn't really know what to do with himself. He has a girlfriend, and they're all about, the cause and living well, but also they need money because they're very poor and they're living out of their cousin's garage. And his car barely works, and she has like a show in an art gallery, but that's all, she's making. And the guy gets a job somewhere where he has to do phone support. And one of the other black people tells him, oh, everyone's hanging up on you because you sound like a black person. You need to use your white voice. And this person is Danny Glover, and the voice coming out of him is, I want to say like Patton Oswalt.
I want to say, yeah.
Yeah, or Patton Oswalt definitely comes out of somebody in this movie, but it's just like the whitest voice you've ever heard dubbed over Danny Glover, and in this context and in this situation, it's fucking hilarious. The entire movie is hilarious. And it starts off, and the trailer would have you believe that the movie is about code switching. And there's so much about this movie that I could tell you that would spoil the movie that I won't do because you need to go and fucking watch this movie. But it is about code switching. It is about the black experience in corporations, in the corporate world, about what it means to sell out versus buy in, about what it means to get your bag versus staying true to yourself, and how much of your soul you're willing to sell, and really what we all are in the end, whether we're black or we're just fighting capitalism. We're all the same, really, under this fucking spot. And certainly we've been treated differently by history and by everyone around us, but this movie has so many layers and so much going on, and just constantly veers off into absolute absurdity in a way that feels irreverent, almost like it's making fun of you. Not for watching it, but for like not realizing that this absurdity is your life beforehand. It's beautiful in the way that it's often very funny, but also horrifying and a little bit accusatorial to you, the viewer. Sorry to Bother You by Boots Riley. I cannot fucking
Even just
recommend it
seeing the
enough.
trailer on silent, I want to watch this movie.
You have seen a trailer by them recently in the last movie we went to go see. You saw a trailer for I Love Boosters,
Huh.
which is a movie coming out this year by Boots Riley. And I hope you want to go see it because I'll be there day one. And I'd be happy to take you with me.
I've been reviewing everything that I watch on Letterboxd, and I try not to think about my review while I'm watching the movie because I want to be engaged with it. You and I, you sat me down, brought me some Rangoons, and said we're going to watch this movie, and we had a good time. And I went
Funniest
home.
rap scene of all time.
Yeah, I went home, and immediately my letterbox was like, and this is as spoilery as I'll get about it. Some CEO is going to watch this movie and think that what they are doing in this movie is a good idea.
Yeah, it's true. That will
It is
definitely happen.
horrible, and I hate it. But yes, absolutely fantastic movie. Now, for my last movie, would you be surprised
If you
my
also
third,
pick Ninja Turtles?
if my third movie was also a horror movie?
Motherfucker.
Well, joke's on you, it's not, fuckers.
Oh!
I want to talk about one of my favorite movies
Varsity
of all time.
Blues. Varsity Blues. Varsity Blues.
That I got to
yeah.
rewatch recently with somebody close to me. I want to talk about a little movie that came out when I was a kid that is very representative of the generation that I grew up in. I want to talk about Empire Records.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Fuck yeah.
Empire Records is, I believe, 1995 film.
It's not even Rex Manning Day.
It's not. It's close to Rex Manning Day. Rex Manning Day is in April.
Correct.
Empire Records is a 1995 film about a bunch of delinquent kids that help run a record store. One of the kids hears that their indie record store is possibly going to be bought out by a larger corporation, and they're all going to be part of this corporation instead of having the fun indie music experience that they currently have.
Right.
He goes to Vegas. He bets everything in Vegas to try and save the record store, and he loses it all. And by the way, this was his very first night closing.
Oh, yeah.
He was trusted finally with being the very first to allow to be closed this to allowed to close the store.
Yeah. Takes all the
And
money in the safe and
takes all
goes
the
to
money-
Vegas.
Goes to Vegas, Atlantic City actually.
Atlantic City, but with good
Yeah.
intentions.
Right, good intentions. And the story, while that is the basic part of the story is, and I don't want to seem pretentious about it, it's a character piece.
Oh, yeah.
Everything in Empire Records is about which each of these individual kids, and God, they're like late teens, early 20s, but now I'm old enough that I can say kids, what they're going through. This was Liv Tyler's very first film. She had only been in the Aerosmith music videos before this. You have a character that is going through some really difficult times.
Yeah, a little
and-
suicidal ideation,
Right.
stuff like that.
and is going through that. You have another one who's an artist who's in love with Liv Tyler's character, but Liv Tyler's character has decided that there's this guy called Rex Manning who's a big music deal.
She basically decided she loves Rod Stewart.
Right.
Yeah.
And decides I want to lose my virginity in the back of the record store to this dude.
And don't forget Renee Zellweger.
Renee Zellweger
Zellweger
being the
forever.
most Renee Zellweger.
And the unsung Ethan Embry, the hero of 90s movies.
So this movie is infinitely quotable.
Yeah. Oh, God, forever.
I was worried going into my rewatch recently because I was like, oh, I wonder if this is really going to hold up. Because, like, I mean, I was late to Empire Records. I did see it, like, in the early 2000s, and it was already, like, 10 years after it had aired. I thought it was good then, but humor changes, and maybe they would say something that I wouldn't want them to say. But everything about it is still funny. The special brownies that makes
Yeah.
Mark like see Guar
Yes.
is hilarious.
Point of clarification.
Yeah, what's Guar?
Did both of you guys see this during the 90s? Like when?
No. I saw it in the 2000s.
In the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it probably the tail end of high school, so late 90s.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, after it came out.
I saw it recently, and I guess I am very much of the perspective that maybe I had to be there.
It's possible, but I was a kid during that time.
Yeah.
I went to those kind of record stores. I managed a Suncoast as a kid, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. That like I worked for like the movie company in the mall, and I could give recommendations to people.
Yeah.
The way that they recommend music all the time.
Yeah, the problem was is like we grew up with movies like this, and we're all like, man, having a job looks awesome.
Right. Right.
Fuck.
Yeah. But like working at Suncoast was fun. I managed an arcade as a kid, and like
Yeah.
that was fun. There were jobs that were actually fun. They
True.
paid shit, but they were fun. And the interesting part about Empire Records is if you give it a rewatch, you do take away a little bit more from every time that you rewatch it. The first time that you're watching it, you're trying to really understand Joe, their boss,
Right.
and why he's not immediately arresting people for stealing money and all this
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
And-
because I mean, like Joe's such a great character.
yeah, he's a great character. He probably has some of the least dialogue in the entire movie.
Right, but he doesn't need to talk.
Yeah.
He's just walking around giving like disapproving dad looks, and you're like, I understand.
Yeah,
this, man.
yeah. You see him walking, and you're like, oh man, he's gonna walk up and be like, I'm severely disappointed in you, and you will feel that in your soul when he
Yeah.
does. Yeah, everything about Empire Records is so much fun.
Literally everything about it.
It's just a movie that, like, I don't know if you can make a movie like that these days. The idea of working for anything.
The idea of having fun at work.
Right, the idea of having fun at
Fuck
work.
off.
Like, and we live in Austin where places like Empire Records exist.
Oh yeah. We have
Like-
like indie coffee shops, indie record stores,
Yeah.
indie mom and pop video game stores.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's probably pretty cool to work there as long as you don't think about the imminent threat of being destroyed by somebody else who wants your space, which is exactly what Empire Records is about.
Yeah. I mean,
And for the record, the original, I guess, theatrical version of Empire Records might not actually exist.
really, that's interesting.
There was quite a few weird edits that happened before it made its way to home video that the original source material doesn't seem to be around.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's my last choice for movie recommendations. It's Empire Records. It's a good time. If you feel oppressed by the world right now, damn the man, save the empire. Go watch Empire Records. I think you can watch it on like Amazon Prime.
Yeah, and just much like most of the movies tonight, 3 O'Clock High very much included. Killer fucking soundtrack.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Empire
wall to
Records.
wall bangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's everything that we have for the boss room. But stick with us as we get into what we've been up to this week in the epilogue.
Epilogue.
All right, everyone, welcome to the epilogue. It's time to dive into what we've been up to this week, what we've been playing, what we've been watching, what has been occupying our free time, and what has been making us happy. John, what have you been up to?
Well, as you know, I've been making my way through the Bioshocks.
Hell yeah.
I finished up 2. Hell of a lot of fun.
Love to.
The first game, scary, visceral, haunting. Second game, more like wacky, good, homeless fun. Because
Yeah.
the world is already shit. Let's turn it into Home Alone.
Yeah, blow it up.
Yeah.
Make
and-
traps. Set traps for people.
I set traps everywhere. That was my favorite part of the game.
So
So I had a lot of fun with it. I'm currently, obviously, playing Bioshock Infinite, which is kind of close to, I'm almost close to saying it's my favorite Bioshock.
That's a very
it's
divisive opinion.
really, like, I don't know if that's a hot take.
A little
But
bit, yes,
holy
but also I love
shit.
it too.
Also, if somebody had told me years ago that, John, the whole Bioshock franchise is just you running around and killing racist libertarians and Confederates, I would have played years ago. And for the record, I apologize to anybody out there. I realize what I just said is redundant, but I know a lot of pedantic racist libertarians.
Yeah.
So, you gotta be very specific with those people.
Yeah, and not all of one or the other, but
Yeah.
you know what? The Venn diagram is almost the same.
So I'm not usually that pedantic or that redundant, but a lot of racist libertarians who are pedantic. Like there was this one scene. I have a very weird kind of code of honor when I play video games. Even if I see a red on the end of my gun, if that NPC is not attacking me, I don't hurt them. Like Bioshock 2, there were a lot of crazy people in the corner that were like, shining red in my sight lines, but I'm like, oh no, that's just a crazy person. They're not going to hurt me.
Right.
It's, oh no.
Sure.
Hold on.
I can see that. It's interesting that you say that because Bioshock Infinite is such a divisive title.
Yeah, you know why? And I've been thinking about this. Is I think John's very lucky to have played it now.
Yes.
There's a thing. Before BioShock Infinite came out, we all knew how great BioShock it was. We all loved
Right.
it. Ken Levine was a fucking rock star. And we had seen trailers of this game where Elizabeth was doing all kinds of incredible shit. And like basically guiding you through the story of the game, et cetera, et cetera. None of that's in the game.
Yep.
This game came out in an age where they would vastly overpromise in trailers and even in gameplay showcases show shit that was not final and not going to be in the game and shit that they were just brainstorming. So by the time BioShock Infinite came out, we had been promised a 12 and we got a 10.
Right.
Ah.
And we were all pretty pissed off. Even
Yeah.
though what we got was fucking fantastic. And going back and playing it later like I did, I was like, you know what? That was pretty fucking great.
Yeah, I went into this cold, but first to finish my point,
Yeah, please.
was I don't ever attack NPCs that are not directly attacking me. But when I walked into a church with 100 Confederate dudes who all literally knelt and set down their guns to pray at their dear leader,
Oh boy.
I executed
You
every
were-
single motherfucking one of them.
You were Michael B.
Zero
Jordan
regrets.
at the end of Sinners. Just
Yeah.
Zero regrets.
I will say, not to hijack what you've been up
Oh,
to,
go for it.
but when it comes to BioShock Infinite, I was keeping a kind of a small gaming blog at the time. This was around the time that we had started the podcast, actually. BioShock Infinite, a lot of people didn't like when it came out because it was overhyped, underdelivered, a lot of different things. I just lost my grandfather when BioShock Infinite came out. And I was not doing okay with that. My papa was a really big part of my life, and it seemed so sudden, even though he was as old as he was. And there was something about playing a game where I got to save somebody, which was Elizabeth, and have control over the saving somebody that really affected me in a very profound way. And so while there were a lot of people that were shitting on BioShock Infinite for it was, it felt good to me that I could reclaim this thing that I couldn't do. I couldn't save my grandfather from age. But I could go and save Elizabeth. And I think at that point in time I needed to save something.
Honestly, that's kind of another thing working for it. Not only do we have a like almost female protagonist, but it's a grown woman who I can relate to. Whereas a little girl, I have no daddy bones in my body. I have
Right.
no children. So I don't get it, and it's kind of creepy. Like, the least I could do, I guess, is save them and not harvest them, whatever the fuck that is, which I never clicked on because the whole concept creeped me out. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'll just save you, little girl.
Yeah.
I never voted Republican, sorry.
Exactly. Can't do it. No, and I'm right there with you. Elizabeth, while very much like Disney princess coded, like, felt like a real person,
Yeah.
a real character. And also, just so you know, when you're done with BioShock Infinite, very much benefits from a replay from a story perspective. It's one of those games.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, without getting into any spoilers, there's a lot of that.
All right, John, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nah. Oh, wait. I guess this one's kind of for you, James. I started watching Twin Peaks with the lady, with my wife.
Yeah.
We're on like episode 5.
We've won. We've pressured you together. We've Eiffel Towered Twin Peaks into you.
We just experienced the moment where he gets on the phone. He's like, I know who killed Laura Palmer. Yes, it can wait till tomorrow morning. Click. And then tomorrow morning, he's like, we just got to solve my dream. And they did not flip up the table and walk out on him for some reason.
Okay, look, for what it's worth, that David Lynch never wanted you to know who killed Laura.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I appreciate that, and I'm so excited that you're watching it, and I'm going to high five your wife next time I see her
Alright.
because...
Which will be Sunday.
Yeah, which will be
Yeah.
Sunday because we're all going to go see The Bride.
Hell yeah, The Bride.
All right, Hector, what are you been up to this week?
Oh,
Save
man.
Deadlock for last. We'll talk
Oh,
about that.
right. So what am I talking about if not Deadlock? Let's see. I finished a couple video games. I finished Shinobi. I finished the first part of Hollow Knight. since then, I have been playing Power Wash Simulator 2 because I needed a little bit of stability and a couple of podcasts in my life just to calm me down. I've recently become employed again, and I find myself
Yay!
zenning out about that lately. Like, I will spend a whole Saturday just like listening to people talk about stupid shit that I care about while power washing a thing and engaging with a very slow storytelling of Power Wash Simulator. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. We finished the Fallout Season 2,
We did. It was so good.
and that was very, very good.
Speaking of Twin Peaks actors,
yeah, loved every bit of it. Kyle MacLachlan is a treasure.
He is.
As is Walton Goggins, as always.
Absolutely.
And everyone else in that show is really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would die for Ella Purnell. Like, I just would.
Absolutely, yeah. Amazing show, amazing stuff going on. Recently, what else? I think that's about it. I tried out that God of War Metroidvania, but unfortunately, I had just played 2 really great Metroidvanias before that, so I bounced off of it, and I'm not sure if I'm going to go back. I might just go play something else, which I've been doing a lot of recently.
Okay, so we'll jump into that in just a
yeah.
second because I want to save that for the last discussion.
All right.
I'll start off with what I've been doing because most of it is not video game related or movie related. I went to a LARP last week.
Yeah.
That's what I did with my Thursday and Friday. It's run by Jackalope Studios here in Austin. It's called Coven 1934. The premise behind it is the town of Covenant in 1934. Is a dying town. The Dust Bowl is happening, and there are supernatural things afoot. Coven 1934 is not based on any particular role-play system. It was an original story that was very inspired by Sinners, and Lord knows we had a Sinners moment where we had a handful of humans that were hiding out in a room while we were all like shaking the door going, "Let us in." Most of the characters started human. You could, throughout the course of the game, collect various coins that would point you towards one of 3 factions. And at the end, there's no winner in a LARP, but at the very end of the game, they do count up which side got the most people, and our side did. We were the wild. There was the light, the dark, and the wild, and the humans. We were the wild. We were represented by the Fae. My character went through a beautiful arc, and I do not have the time to talk about it all here. But it was a very emotionally moving experience. One of the reasons I brought up my grandfather when we were talking about BioShock is my character, and this character was not written for me. It was given to me, but it was not written for me. Very much resembled my grandfather in a lot of ways. He was a horse rancher. He had, a really rough life. And I channeled a lot of my grandfather, and also I opened up the things that I was given of his, and I brought them with me to the LARP. I wore his hat, I wore his bola, I had his belt. There was a emotionally cathartic thing getting to channel my grandfather a little bit in playing this LARP. From there, I got to go to see Nine Inch Nails on Sunday. It was a beautiful show. We're hearing rumors Nine Inch Nails may not tour much anymore. They opened with the song Something I Can Never Have, which is a song they do not play live. So getting to hear that live really just like hit me in my heart like strong. It was a beautiful show. Special thanks to Abby who got the tickets to have us both go. Video game wise, been playing Hades 2. Hades 2 is great.
Yeah, it is.
It's just more Hades. Let's wrap this whole thing up. We'll get ready to close this show down, but we have one more thing that we do want to talk about.
I missed one thing that I have to mention right before we talk about our last thing. I finally finished the last season of Star Wars Visions. Now, and I am an anthology animation fiend. I love everything about all of it. Give me Visions. Give me what's the Marvel one called? What If?
Yeah, What If, yeah.
And there's obviously Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix. Like any kind of anthology, like different animation studios telling whatever story they want type of thing. I love the shit out of this kind of stuff. I don't know why, but it is my candy. And I finally finished the 3rd season of Star Wars Visions. And while all of them are great, and you should watch them all, you should watch every season of that show, it's amazing. The very last one
If you're unfamiliar, by the way, it's a anthology series. None of the episodes are connected.
Yeah, none of
It
the
is-
yeah. It's all different characters. It's all different studios doing different kinds of animation. The only thing is, it's all about Force users. There is a Jedi or a Sith or a mix of both, or maybe something that's neither. But you'll find a Force user and or a lightsaber wielder in every episode. That's the hook. And this episode was very different from that. I would call it the very last episode, episode 8 of season 3, is it's not silent, but there are no spoken words, not really. And it's kind of about two fighter pilots, one a stormtrooper basically, and one a rebel fighter pilot, fighting each other through eternity, almost in like an endless war sort of thing. It is distressing and beautiful and gross and horrific, and it feels more like Star Wars always should have. It feels more like it's talking about war and the fucking consequences and the evils of war, not in a consequences way, but in a what it does to the people who are doing it sort of way. It's really hard to describe, but it's not hard to recommend. Obviously, I recommend this season, but if you don't even care about anthology animation, and even if you don't care about Star Wars, it's enough of a thing in the zeitgeist of humanity and the fact that we're at war again. It's a very, very good thing to check out because it'll make you feel a thing. It'll make you feel a certain way. And my God, if I had to put something up here, way up high, I'm raising my hand up high for the radio people, in the sense of like, what is art right now about our current time? I would say season 3, episode 8 of Star Wars Visions. It's fantastic.
All right. The last thing that we're going to talk about is not going to be that serious,
No.
but we have talked many times on the show about how we have a quote-unquote after-work game that we often play. Most of the time that's Marvel Rivals. Used to be Overwatch.
Yep.
A little while back, about a year ago, it was Deadlock. Deadlock is a MOBA-style 6v6 game, 3 lanes, 2 people per lane. The idea is you push from your base into the enemy base. When we first played, it was basically an alpha form.
Oh, yeah.
There were things that had no textures.
Yeah.
It had a very
missing art, missing everything.
very interesting 1930s Lovecraft story behind
Lovecraft noir in New York.
Yeah.
Like, beautiful stuff.
Is this game officially released
it. Nope,
yet?
not
or-
yet. Nope.
It's not even in beta yet.
Nope, not even in beta yet. However, Deadlock is readily accessible. If you have a friend who has Deadlock, they can get you in for free.
Yeah,
It costs nothing.
yeah. All you have to do is be invited by someone who has already been invited. You
Yep.
can literally join the right Discord server and ask for an invite, and you'll get one instantly.
Yep.
You can play this game if you want to jump through one very small hoop. How do I describe this game? You were talking about a MOBA, which is a very divisive type of game that is all about team play and very complex scenarios. A game where not only will no 2 matches be the same, but even if you play the same character, if you're playing the game well and you're upgrading your character and you're leveling your character up to get new abilities, and there's a shop where you're going to buy stuff that also upgrades your character, no 2 matches for you as that character should be the same.
Right.
Based on who you are fighting and how you are fighting. This game does the thing that MOBAs do that hooks people. A lot of people don't like MOBAs for the same reason I don't. I don't want to fucking click to move everywhere. Click, 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 click. It fucking pisses me off.
Also the toxicity of it.
Yeah. There's also the toxicity of, yelling at some employed father because he doesn't understand the intricacies of your game and he's not laning correctly and he's getting bullied by someone in the other lane who is 12. Yes, and it feels like that unemployed father who's just trying to have a good time and learn how to play Ivy is wasting an hour of your precious time.
Right.
People yell at each other in these types of games because they are entirely focused on team play. If you mixed this genre that is both incredibly toxic and incredibly fun and really hooks the people who are diehards, who are adaptable to the RTS space because of the interface, you took that and you meld it with a hero shooter, the most popular genre we have right now. with a whole bunch of characters with very distinct identities, very distinct moves and abilities and synergies with the other characters, and then you just crammed it full of characters. I think at this point we're looking at what, like 36, 38 characters?
Something like that.
In Deadlock. In something like Dota 2, there are like over 100 characters. In something like League, far, far more. The whole point of the game is a variety that is added to the game with every new character, with every newly introduced item. This game is melding two things that I would never, ever, ever trust any of the studios that gave us any game to meld. I'd never trust Blizzard to do this. Never trust Activision or EA to do this. I wouldn't trust Machine Games to do this. I wouldn't trust the studio, the exact same development team that brought us Titanfall 2 to do this. This is too hard. This is too complicated. This should be impossible. But we live in a world where there is one good thing under all of the umbrella that is gaming, and that is Valve. Why is Valve good? Because Valve is nothing but veteran talent and people that they find incredibly talented that they hire, and a studio that doesn't care about releasing a video game. They literally have no dog in that fight. There's no pressure
They
on
make
them.
so much money off of Steam.
Right.
That-
They have Steam money. They don't have to release a game, and if they did, it might show as a loss that quarter because the game may not make money.
Right.
Steam will always make money, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So making something like Half-Life 3 kind of a liability because they might put a ton of resources into it and not get a lot out if it sucks. But the thing about Deadlock and the thing about any game that Valve ever makes is at this point is that they don't have to release it. They don't have to release it until it's great, until it's perfect. And they've been spending so long with this game just in an alpha state, tweaking, showing us new things, creating new stuff. And one of my favorite games of the last several years was Risk of Rain 2. And when that studio got all laid off, Valve grabbed all their talent. Why? Because they were amazing at making characters. All they did was make the most creative and interesting characters with creative and interesting powers that comboed well with the other characters next to them, and they just let them loose on a Deadlock and had them start making characters and making interactions and tweaking items until everything looked really cool. So now you have the most veteran team of developers on Earth working with the people that they find the most talented, making a game that may never see a 1.0 release because why? We're already playing it.
It's true. And the thing about Deadlock that I find really fascinating is a hero shooter. It's a third-person hero shooter. I already play a third-person hero shooter. I play Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
And Marvel Rivals, for what it's worth, is a really great game. I'm having a great time with
Yeah.
it. We're definitely going to go back. We're going to be playing some more new
Quick
seasons
5-minute
of,
adventure, in and out. That's Marvel Rivals. Do you have a great time? Not for a long time.
thumbs up. Great. Good time.
Yep.
Before that, we were playing Overwatch, and there's a lot of similarities between Overwatch and Marvel Rivals,
Yeah.
specifically in the way that the abilities work, right? Because it's in Marvel Rivals, it's a constant pressure to always be in each other's faces, and so a lot of the abilities are very, very same. Some might even say one copies from the other, and now the other's copying from the other.
Yeah. They're the same game.
Deadlock has hero abilities the likes of which I can't tell if I love them or I hate them. The other day, I was playing this lovely vampire lady named Mina.
Yeah.
She's great.
Got a great outfit on,
she's
got a cute little umbrella.
She got her umbrella. She's got her little pistol.
Yeah.
She does vampire stuff.
Yeah.
Big fan. Mina's awesome. There are playlists all over Spotify just for Mina, and they're great playlists for a goth like me. I had to go up against a character named the Doorman.
Oh God, the doorman.
The Doorman is a guy who's a bellhop at a hotel.
And that
in the
hotel
30s.
is on the map, and he tells you that that's his hotel.
Yeah, it is that. Now, there are some things you would never do in Overwatch and Marvel Rivals, and one of those things is deploy an ability on the field that would completely remove a character from the game.
Yeah. How do we talk about doorman?
Doorman's ultimate is that physically on the screen you are standing in place and you cannot be shot by anybody, but you're consistently taking damage. On your screen, you have just been teleported down a shining hallway that you have to escape from before you are out of this ultimate.
Yep, and it's a very small jumping puzzle.
Yeah, very small jumping puzzle.
Yeah, and it's the same every time. So if you're good at it, you can get out real fast.
Yeah.
But if you've never seen it before, you're probably going to fall more than once and take all the damage.
Yeah. No other game would dare to do these kind of things with their characters.
No. Let me tell you a little bit about Doorman while we're here, because Doorman is a character that I want to be good at. And my friends can tell you anything, is I like to take the most bass-ackwards, convoluted, difficult characters, and I want to make them work because someone programmed them to work somehow. They had an idea when they made them, and I want to find it. The thing about Doorman is Doorman has a one-time use portal gun from Portal style ability where he can set a door at one place and then save the second door for somewhere else and make someone go through it. And his first two abilities are very mundane. One is a push and one is kind of a knockdown. One is kind of a stun. So you can stun someone and you can push someone. But you can create a door to fucking Narnia. So okay, in this game there are two bases, and if an enemy walks from his side of the map all the way into your base before you've like done work on their base, if you just walked all the way straight into like where the enemy spawns, there are towers that shoot you. That's why you don't do that. That's why teams don't spawn camp, because there are big NPC elements that will fucking kill you in there. No one would ever do that. No one in their right mind would ever go there. But if Doorman puts a doorway right where he spawns, and then goes and finds you, stuns you, puts a door behind you, and pushes you, now you're in the enemy spawn, and he can walk through the door with you and close it behind him, and now you're fucked. And he can just watch you be murdered while he stands there smugly laughing at you. That's the variety of character. It's not like the fire guy and the ice lady and the bubble healer. This is the Doorman, and he is not even remotely the most ridiculous. There's a guy made of goo.
Yep.
He's basically a booger.
I got beat up by him the other day, and
Yeah,
I'm
because he'll fuck you up.
I'm very upset about it.
There is a 1980s UK punk dude who, for some reason, has a goat head. Mm-hmm. His name's Billy, because of course it is. Speaking of High Guard, like characters that look how they play,
Yep.
that is Deadlock. You look at any character and you're like, I wonder what they do. And you look at their abilities and you're like, that is fucking perfect.
There is a very tiny character, and when I say tiny, this character is like the tiniest.
They're little.
character in
They're
the
odd
game.
job. They're gone.
They are
They're
tiny. There are certain
tiny.
spots on the map that only this character can access because of how tiny they are, and they're very cute. And they wear a little sleepy time outfit.
So
and their name is Rem.
It's Rem, and he's a little baby crow wearing pajamas and a little nightcap, and they're deadly as fuck.
And all of the abilities that you would think that a character that's based around sleep would have, absolutely has.
Yeah.
This game has so much personality.
So much detail.
and,
So
like,
let's talk about Rem. Rem's ability, Rem's gun is a little candle that he shoots flames at you with, and every gun in this game has ammo, and eventually you have to reload. The flame on his candle gets lower the less ammo he has, and then he has to flick it back on to reload. And that detail is present everywhere in the game. And again, this game's in alpha, not even an actual beta release.
Yep.
I swear to God, the day the open beta drops for this game, it's got 1 million concurrent players. Period.
Yeah.
Period. Easy.
That's Deadlock. We've been loving it. It's so good. Watch some YouTube videos about it. It's so
it is
fun.
the thing. And you know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for it to get really popular and all the AAA studios try to make one and fail.
Fail. They're gonna fail.
This is the World of Warcraft thing. Everyone's going to be like, I'm going to make a Deadlock. And
There's no
none
way.
of them will ever become close.
Nope, never
That's
not
where
once.
we are.
All right, that's everything we have for the show this week. Don't forget that you can head over to goodnight.gg to become a patron of our show. You can head over to facebook.com/GNGGcast where you can chat with us, as well as at GNGGcast on Twitter and goodnight.gg on Blue Sky to talk to me directly. But until next time, for Hector, this is James.
And for James, this is Hector.
And for you, this is me.
Everyone, good night.
And good game.
Bow. Excellent stream, everybody. I am definitely going to save this Audacity file and have you send it to me.
Yeah.
All
I'll
right.
do that.
Killing the stream. Thank you for watching.
Thank you,
Night,
everybody.
Internet.
Yeah, night, Internet.